There's an article called Sex Weeks Sparks Lawmakers' Fury. Apparently, your University of Tennessee wanted to have a sex week. I just want to say, if our culture, even in a fine, upstanding state like Tennessee, is that confused, then we need help. Yes, we do mix our religion with politics because politics keeps intruding on our religion. And we're not going to get away from it until we get a backbone and stand up and say the truth. So who sets the rules? Okay, people don't. People who say you can't mix your religion and politics, they're saying we can't talk about the difference between right and wrong. Why would the Bibles come out during the budget debate? Well, usually the people who were in the Democrat side of the aisle would, I remember this vividly one night. Now, I was there for 8 years, so I had 8 grueling budget debates. But one night in particular was very funny because this gentleman stood up and he read from his Bible and he said, I am a preacher and it says right here, you're supposed to take care of the widows and orphans. And then another gentleman stood up with his Bible and he said, and I'm the son of a preacher and it says right here, you're supposed to feed the poor. And then I stood at my microphone and I said, I'm a church pianist. And it says you're supposed to whip out your own wallet and do it yourself. So we don't need more laws, we need more virtue. Some people will get divorced or refuse to get married in the first place because they're trying to get more money extracted from the government. Some of these mandated reporting laws are downright corrosive to family integrity. You have people who, now if somebody can't tell a pastor in some states about their own problems without fear that the pastor will turn them in. Or, if they have problems with their children, they're afraid, well, what if somebody doesn't understand? This Nazi Germany, just to remind those of you of history, the law made people turn in their friends and families to be destroyed by government.
And the natural family as ordained by God, man and woman living in the context of his will for children and procreation, has no foundation. If we are going to defend the natural family, then we defend it on the basis of the fact that our claim of rights comes from the authority of God, and our understanding of the family must be compatible with the same authority.
The black family, which survived slavery, discrimination, poverty, wars, and depressions, began to come apart as the federal government moved in with its well-financed programs to help. And even though Thomas Sowell is referring to his particular ethnicity, it applies to everybody. It is everybody. It is every family is being affected. And Star Parker wrote a book originally called Uncle Sam's Plantation, and then she followed it up with the sequel called The White Ghetto. Jesus said, I told you to feed the poor, not to get other people to steal money from people to do it. That's the story. Had the homosexual group come to their GOPAC meeting, and it's not going to help them. The best teachers are those who show you where to look and explain it without shading it through the lens of atheism and evolution. The radical homosexuality we're seeing, and my husband said, call it homosexualism. So don't let them say gay marriage, because if it's homosexual, it's not marriage. And don't let them say homosexual, because it's perversion. So they're talking about trying to make a perverted fraud that will mimic marriage. If you correct them on that, we'll get somewhere. The only way they can fabricate a pseudo-family is with the help of fertility clinics.
I understand why some people could feel when they're cutting the head off their baby Well, so
they
that
would
doesn't
reject
sound
that.
loving.
You're right.
I mean, and the words you're using aren't loving.
Little baby boys and girls are taken into that building, and when they use the suction machine, they're torn apart.
I love the quote because it is about love, and we are more loving. I didn't know Calzastro was going to be mentioned in an earlier presentation, but the way he says it is so true and so right, and I wish that for all of us. This is just a funny cartoon my husband made. He says, "I can't explain to you the 7 trumpets of Revelation, but I can blow one in your ear and warn you to escape the wrath to come."